From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big noontime here on LALATE with your big fourth stimulus check of today update for 2021. I have big updates about what's happening with that monthly stimulus check that would land in your bank account starting the month of July, who gets it, how much is happening across the board. But in this recording, for the first time ever, I'm going to go over what's not in the fourth stimulus package, what needs to be in there. I also go over the big money that's coming live this week for the first time ever. Do you know what it is? Do you know how you get it? I'll be going over the unemployment, the $10,200. I'll be going over the rent, also the mortgage assistance, and the business grants going live. Then I'll be cutting back to the children's check. Did you do everything you need to do to get that children's check? You're going to be surprised. And then I have a lot of other surprises like student loan debt forgiveness, which I'm going to be covering, and why the president has released so few videos out of the White House in the last 3 days. When I'm recording more than he is, you have to sort of wonder. It's a big noontime. I'm excited you're here. Let's get to it. This is Noontime LALATE. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're doing well and feeling safe. I'm excited you are here on a big noontime home show here on LALATE. Home is back, and this is where you belong. Welcome home to Home LALATE, our noontime lighthearted, easy breezy show that gives you the latest update on the financial markets, on financial news, and of course, your stimulus. In this recording, I'm going to go over that fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check. But for the first time ever, you're also going to hear on this channel the items of the fourth stimulus package that are not slated to be extended. Oh boy, yes, there's a lot of items. I saw people on Mornings LA today that were just flabbergasted. Yeah, I do use that word, flabbergasted. They were just shocked when they heard from me that there's certain items not in the fourth stimulus package. You're going to be surprised. And then we cut over to the money that's coming to you live this week, the next few days. And I'll be cutting over the one of the monies that is not automatic. You're going to be surprised about that as well. And more about the incredible news about the fourth stimulus. So if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I want you part of this family. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's start with the easiest and simplest subject of them all. First, the fourth stimulus check. Those monthly stimulus checks, whether you're a House member or Senate member, they're slightly different. The House members want the stimulus checks to go through the rest of the pandemic and then 1 year thereafter. So let's say the pandemic has 4 more months. Well, they want the stimulus checks for those 4 months and then 12 months thereafter. It came in a legislation introduced by Tulu and Jalapal that says we would immediately provide the first month of $2,000 to every person in America, followed by $1,000 monthly payment through the remainder of the ongoing pandemic that continues for 1 year after the crisis, after the pandemic, across the board. That's the House plan. Let's look at the senators and how slightly different they are. So you just saw the House members 1 year, the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. The senators are shorter in time, not shorter in height, shorter in time. They want the stimulus checks from now to December. The House members are progressives, the senators are more moderate. And then here is the monthly amount. The House members you just saw talking about $1,000 after that first $2,000 initial month. And then the House members, they are for a monthly amount that is unknown, but word on the street is at this amount. $2,000 a month, over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 a month, over 6 months, $8,400. If you've seen YouTubers with the $2,000 in their thumbnail and they're pointing at it, or $2,000 in their title, don't tune into them because it's all bollocks. No one has agreed to pay you $2,000 a month. It is one of the word on the street amounts for the senators, and you just saw the House members, they're paying you $1,000 a month. And in fact, another YouTuber even misstates the House proposal, saying that the House proposal is from now to December. You already just saw the House proposal is much longer than that. All right, so who gets these stimulus checks? Very easy breezy. Same as third stimulus. We make it easy on this channel. Same as third stimulus. So if you make less than $75,000, you get it. $150,000 married couple, you get it. Double the amount that you saw on the screen before. Adult dependents and minor dependents, you get it as well. Same amount as it's a full check. Everyone gets the same amount. And then if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rail benefits, you get it as well. Family of 4 or less, all 4 get the 4 amount. Look at that amount again, and you take that amount and you quadruple it or double it. And so is this a taxable event? It is not. Is it income? Nope. Does it disqualify you from something else? Oh, hell no. No, not at all. When would you get this? Starting the month of July. For the month of July, it would be a July check you would get in the month of July. It would not be passed in July and you get it in November. We're not doing that anymore. This is a monthly stimulus package that they have to pay the check every month, and IRS is actually doing that for the children coming up later in this video. And the vote would be by July 4th, says Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi. All right, so that is the fourth stimulus package update of 2021. Remember, the senators and the House members write bills. They write what becomes law. The president doesn't write anything. He just proposes stuff. And ultimately, their add-on to the fourth stimulus package of infrastructure, roads, climate, is stimulus checks. Should there be other add-ons? Absolutely. And I'm going to go over those other items. You're going to be shocked. I saw your comments during Mornings LALATE this morning. People were just like, "Are you serious? Are you kidding me?" I said, "Nope, I'm not joking. These items are slated to expire, folks. So when you hear this, if you want them to not be expired, start pushing." The reconciliation process for fourth stimulus starts in the month of May, ends in July. So you got time to push. Viewers, this channel I affectionately call Purple Power, as people who have advocacy, economic advocacy, advocate for things. So let's go over the items expiring. 3 groups of items. First, let me broadly say what they are, and then go over the specifics. All unemployment federal benefits are expiring. Wow. All rental assistance is expiring. Oh my goodness. And then finally, all the business grants going bye-bye. All right, let's go over each of them one at a time, and then I'll give you my opinion of what's going on and my opinion of the situation. Now, what I mean by expiring is that Congress goes on recess in July and barely works and is barely back in session until September. And if you were with me last year, you know these people. They do not care. They go on their vacation in July and they do not come back to September. They let FPUC expire last year. FPUC retros because they let expire. So you don't want them to let these things expire. If you hear them, you're like, no, we don't want these to expire. Let's go over each one of them one at a time. The first one across the board, of course, is unemployment. PEUC is expiring. It's the extension of your UI benefits with extra weeks because the federal government's picking up the tab. FPUC, that $300 add-on that goes on top of your UI and PUA, it's expiring. And finally, PUA, it's just shocking. That's set to expire as well. PUA is that unemployment benefits for sole practitioners, independent contractors, gig workers, Uber and Lyft, things like that. All those items are going away. What's my opinion? I think it's bollocks. I think it's crazy to make it go away, expire. Why? The long-term unemployment numbers in this country are 16 million people unemployed. The number of jobs missing since pre-pandemic is 8 million. We're going to see the new jobs report in a few days from now, but it's still 8 million and 16 million people unemployed. The new jobless claims, new unemployment numbers every week, we saw them last week. I think I have the graphic here somewhere. It went on improving. The number is really just basically flat. Here it is. I do have the number. So here was last Thursday. New unemployment claims, we went up. So to 500,000 people, we're adding to the list every week. Why is unemployment benefits from the federal government going away? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. And that's the first group. The second group is all the business grants going away. PPP, EIDL grant, shuttered venue grant, business grant, restaurant grant, all going away. I'll be going over some of them later in this video because they're going live. That's good news. But that's it. They come live and then they're used up and then they're gone. Now, PPP grant can be extended by executive order. The president just extended by executive order, but I just don't want him to be the bearer of determining whether it's extended because he's not been reliable on executive orders. He's been very inconsistent. So I don't want to rely on him to extend PPP. I'd rather have Congress do it. And finally, the last one. This one left viewers shocked, some horrified, in Mornings LA Today. All the rent and the mortgage assistance is going away. I mean, it's just shocking. So the rent is first the rent aid, the utilities aid, the mortgage assistance, money, the homeowner's utility assistance, and then the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance. Poof, going away. Now, here's what I need to tell you about this so you have the correct mindset and you know what may be the pushback with you when you're pushing for this. Is what Congress said last month is the reason why they want to give you all this rent and this mortgage money is so that they can lift the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance. Yeah, they want to get rid of the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance so that you can get this money. Now, with that, let me cut to the money you can get. And some of it's starting today and some of it started last week. Let's first go over the money that's starting today. And that is the rent, the utilities, the mortgage assistance, and the homeowners' utilities. This is third stimulus, and this money is finally landing in all the states now in May. I've been telling you it was coming in May. It's now landing. Now, remember, there was money in your states and cities for first stimulus, for second stimulus, and each of them ran out. First ran out, second ran out. So if you looked a few days ago, said, my city ran out, that was second stimulus that ran out. Third stimulus is just landing. So it's a big, massive wave of rent, utilities, homeowners assistance for mortgages, and the homeowners assistance for utilities. If you need help finding it, reach out to the volunteers. I have them at the commercial break. The community page is in the link, is in the pinned comment, is in the description to this video, and also in the pinned comment. That is the rent and mortgage assistance. Now, if you try to get it and you say, I don't like this qualification, these eligibility standards, then you may want to do a United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, the Old Purple that I used to do on this channel. They have their own qualifications to get the rent, and the volunteers can help you with that as well. Again, that's United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities. And that's the first item that's going live. The second item that's going live and sending out money is the rebates for the taxes you paid on your unemployment. Now, I'm going to slow this one down because, folks, this one has been butchered by other YouTube channels. They are just putting out fake video after false video over and over again. That one and the children's money is about to go live. And I'm going to have all the details on that coming up after this commercial break. But first, I want to go over the other money that went live just a few days ago. On Friday, the restaurant grant went live on SBA. That's the restaurant grant, and it's not just for restaurants. On Thursday, the shuttered venue grant went live on SBA.gov as well. And it's not just for venues, and it's not just for shutters. And I just have a gut, but it's just my gut feeling, it's just speculative, that the $5,000 EIDL grant is going to go live this week. I just sense it. Remember, the remainder of the $10,000 grant, it did go live. But coming after this commercial break, I go over the big shocker of how you get money or don't get money for that unemployment you had paid in 2020, and the money for the children. And I'll also go over what's anticipated for fourth stimulus and could impact it across the board. All that's coming up right after this commercial break. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues in 2 hours from now on afternoons LALATE's first show. That is the question and answer broadcast every day on this channel, in which I jump into the live chat and I answer your questions about third stimulus, fourth stimulus, and fifth stimulus. I answer all your questions, whether you're wondering about the payout of fourth stimulus or you're wondering about the SSI reform of fifth stimulus. And then we go into our evening schedule with afternoons LA tonight. That's going to be a big broadcast. I can't wait to see you, and I'm in the live chat for that. Then we go into evenings LA 2 hours after that. And that's a huge update about your fourth stimulus and fifth stimulus with the latest financial news for the day. And then we go into LA Late Night, a Reverend-only broadcast with Javita Late and Sirloin. How are you? It's a big noontime, and I'm so glad you're here. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Wow. What a community this is. I want people to just look at this channel and say, those are nice people on that channel. So if you're a new subscriber, say, hi, I'm a new subscriber. And if you see that new subscriber, say, hey, how are you? If you're an old subscriber, be inviting and be welcoming to new people and introduce yourself if you are a new face. I want people to feel invited and welcome on this channel. The nicest, kindest group of people there are. Also like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes. Let's do it. Let's get this video to rank #1. And consider becoming a member, because boy, there's a lot in fifth stimulus. And even the president doesn't tell you what's in the fifth stimulus. And guess what? There are no press conferences. I don't know what's going on. The press secretary is not holding press conferences. Dr. Walensky and Dr. Fauci are not holding COVID updates, barely anymore. I mean, I think there's one a week. And there's literally no videos from the White House unless they're sort of stage production videos. I have no idea what's going on. Needless to say, I'm here, and there is news that I have for you out of Washington. It's just not coming out of the president's own mouth. And with that, let's get to the details about the other money that is hitting across the board. Under third stimulus, the president's senators, not the president himself, but his senators, got a provision in there that said the first $10,200 of your unemployment benefits is tax-free. And since then, there's about 2 YouTubers who are just making buffoonery videos after buffoonery videos. One's making a video saying that you're getting $10,200 checks, that you're getting a stimulus check, that you're getting $10,200 returned to you for your unemployment. I now think that this person knows it's untrue. The same person had a video the other day that said just passed for stimulus. Nothing was just passed for stimulus. So let me explain to you what is going on. Under the third stimulus law, if you filed a 2020 tax return already and paid taxes on federal taxes on your unemployment from 2020, you're going to get refunded that portion of your tax payment that relates to the unemployment. So here's an example. And I know my numbers are sort of off and my tax rates are off. I'm just trying to give simple round numbers so people understand the equation. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment last year paid to you. You went and did your federal tax return. You paid $5,000 in taxes for everything on your tax return. Your entire tax payment was $5,000. But of your entire tax bill, $1,000 of it was taxes on that unemployment. How much you getting back from IRS? $1,000. You're getting back the part of the tax bill you paid on your 2020 tax return for unemployment. You're not getting back all your unemployment assistance. That's ridiculous. You get $9,000 in unemployment. You're not getting another $9,000 in the mail. That's crazy to even say that. Second, you're not getting your entire tax bill returned to you. You're just getting the portion of the tax bill you paid to unemployment. And finally, it's not a break even. I mean, it's not a profitable venture. So if you pay $10, you're getting $10 back. You're not making money on the situation, so it's not stimulating whatsoever. It's not even not only not a stimulus check. It's also not stimulating. It's just break even. So that's the first part. The second part of unemployment, I want to slow it down, and that's why I'm putting this on noontime, so I have more time to go over it with you, is if you have not yet filed your 2020 tax return, will you be getting anything from the federal government automatically for your unemployment? Most tax preparer publications say no. The examples are two. First, if you did not take out for federal taxes when receiving your 2020 unemployment benefits, you're absolutely not getting a payment from the federal government because you didn't pay any taxes. You didn't take out for it. But if you took out week after week in 2020 for federal taxes before getting your unemployment check, then you need to file a 2020 return and request that money back. Most tax preparer websites say that simply sitting back and not filing a tax return and assuming it's coming to you may not be sufficient. So that is where we are on unemployment. As we get to the children's check that starts in the month of July, this one's also being butchered by YouTubers. They're saying you're automatically getting $3,600 or $3,000 and it's a stimulus check and it's this and it's that. Okay, so some of you are not getting it automatically. Actually, two groups of you have to do something, and the something needs to be done ASAP. What is it? Let me go over all those details. First, the $3,600 or $3,000 or $250 or $300 a month is for people who make less than $75,000 and have a child. Yes, it includes SSI and SDI. Some people on benefits have been told they don't qualify. You do qualify. So how do you get the money? You have to have alerted IRS to the fact that you got a child. If they don't know you have a child, they're not paying you Zippo. So here are two groups of people that need to do something right away. The first person is a person who never files a tax return. If you don't file tax returns, they ain't going to know you have a child. You need to go to a tax preparer and say, here's a problem. I need to file a tax return because I have a child and I qualify for this money. IRS needs to know I have that child. That's the first group of people. Second group of people are people who do file tax returns, but for some reason they haven't indicated they have a child dependent. Maybe the child has been newly born or some other reason. But again, if you do file a tax return, but don't list that child as a dependent, they ain't going to know about it. They ain't going to pay for it. So you need to go to the tax preparer. Now, here's what you also need to know before I go to any new subject of this video, is that you've seen a lot of things that need to be fixed with tax returns. What I'm recommending viewers is the following. IRS had given that statement, which I showed you on this channel, I think it was about 2 months ago, that said, don't do this and don't do that and don't do this. Well, they never gave us an update what to really do. I need to tell you I have a child. I need to get the unemployment money back. I got to do this. They never told us where the fix is. So at the moment, the only fix is the tax return. So if you have a lot of things to fix, write them down on a piece of paper before you go to your tax preparer and say, I'm missing a first stimulus check. I'm missing a second stimulus check. I'm missing a third stimulus check, whatever it is. I got to tell the IRS I have a child and I have to do this. Make the whole list because you don't want to file the return and then, I forgot to add another thing in there. You want to use this return as a big fix for everything you need to fix for 2020. and that is your 2020 tax item across the board. Remember, I'm not a tax preparer, so I cannot vouch for any type of tax rules or tax laws. The earned income tax credit, the hazard pay under third stimulus, the $1,504. Where is it? My understanding is it's a 2021 tax credit, not a 2020. Remember, that's 19 years or older, made 25,000 or less, essential worker, hazard pay. Yeah, this is the hazard pay provision. You get 1,504 as a tax credit on your return. My understanding is this is a 2020 return, not the 2021 return, not the 2020. Again, it's a tax credit. It's not a tax check. Also, my understanding is the child care credit is a 2021 item. That is, if you have children, if you have one child, you can deduct up to 50% of your tax. You can deduct up to 50% of your child care costs, or $5,000 cap. 2 or more children, 50% cap at $8,000. My understanding is that's for next year's tax return, but ultimately reach out to your advisor for that. Finally, really, what is going on with all these other items? Here's what you need to know, is that when we're looking at fourth stimulus, the president really got a, how do you call it? It's almost like a smack in the face today from Representative Brady, who said, you know what? And this is on broadcast media. This is on prime time, one of the number one financial news networks, on TV, not in print, on TV, and said, you know what? This ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. No way, no how. And he's referring to the taxes. The fifth stimulus, capital gains taxes and personal taxes being raised. The fourth stimulus, corporate tax being raised. Now, if you've been with me if you've been a viewer of this channel for at least 2 weeks, you know that I really didn't even know which taxes were being changed under fourth and fifth until really that press conference that press speech by the president last week. Now we see that fourth and fifth are including changes to the tax rate. That's an e-ticket to reconciliation. That means you are going to reconciliation. There's no way else you're going to reconciliation. The president ultimately, Purple Power, may need a little bit of push, because at this point, people are starting to wonder, okay, we understood you had to make it look like you're trying to do it by bipartisanship, but it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for 4.5 weeks. So can you just stop it and start the recon? Can you just stop it and start the recon? You've released 6 publicity videos. You're doing a tour across the country today, a tour last week. You've had meetings at the White House and invited people. You've asked for counter proposals. You did it. It didn't work. You did your work. You did your due diligence. You made your effort to do it bipartisan. It didn't work. Start the recon. Ultimately, there's a point at which people start to get a little bit squeamish and say, hey, when's he starting this recon? I mean, just start it already. Now, I personally have no idea why he wouldn't start recon right now. People have been asking me, what day is he starting recon? I don't know what day he's starting recon. He needs to start it in May, in the month of May, which we're in now. But why is he not starting it? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Because what's happening now is that when he tried to get bipartisan support, it became one news story. It didn't happen. Now, as he's got to no bipartisan support, it's starting to push back, and Representative Brady is talking about how he has real big issues for this. So ultimately, it's important for you to understand that we need this fourth stimulus to go to recon. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big broadcast across the board. I see a big room. There's Francine, and there's Lori, and there's John Thompson, there's Marshall. Start the recon car, says Peter. Absolutely. Zena, absolutely. We need to start it. It's about time something was said. Oh, and while NA, not applicable, didn't say it, I have something I forgot to mention. So somehow that screen name reminded me there was something I want to go over. Student loan debt forgiveness. Student loan debt forgiveness. The $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness. My goodness, it's in the title. Here is where people are starting to get a little peeved. I think that's the correct word, peeved. And a little bit perturbed. let's recap this one. The president had a meeting with Leader Schumer in October and then November of last year, right after he was elected president. Would you do student loan debt forgiveness? Come back to me. Schumer came in January. Do it? No. Met him with in February. Do it? No. Then Schumer and Warren released 4 or 5 YouTube videos talking about student loan debt forgiveness. You've seen all of them on this channel. Then they wrote a bill for student loan debt forgiveness for the Senate. Then they met with the president again. Then Schumer had that one day where he's told America to basically troll the president, which was sort of surprising. Email the president saying to forgive you. I mean, it's very, very aggressive for someone from the same party. So the president backtracked and he finally said, okay, I will have Miguel Cardona, my education secretary, prepare a memo to determine whether I can forgive student loan debt by presidential executive order or not. I mean, at the time, we were like, well, wait a second. Of course you can. Obama did it. Trump did it. Yes, you can. Why is the education secretary preparing a deal memo? And I could say 1,000 other things about this beyond that. I mean, one of the things I could say is, why is the education secretary preparing it? I mean, you would assume like the corporate counsel would prepare it if you think that there's a legal. He's claiming there's a legal implication to it. Well, if there's a legal implication to it, then don't have the education secretary prepare it. But he agreed for the education secretary to prepare it. We were all happy. This is exactly what Warren and Schumer wanted. And then that Friday came and nothing happened. And then the next Friday came and nothing happened. And then the Friday again came and nothing happened. We are literally, folks, I think almost 3 weeks after this education secretary has forgot to do his homework. Where is the darn memo? Where is the memo? I mean, it's just sort of getting crazy at this point. So people get a little peeved, one, because they're not seeing where this memo is. And second, where's Chuck and Liz? Are they borrowing Bernie's lawn chair? Have they folded up the lawn chair like Bernie? Remember that folding lawn chair from 2020? Literally, Chuck and Liz have said nothing. I'm referring to Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren. Have said nothing about student loan debt forgiveness. This is their baby. And finally, this. One thing that I was going to record on Sunday, but clearly you saw what happened to me on Sunday. I couldn't record it. Is the president is mentioned in a new article that he once gave sort of a jab at student loan debt forgiveness of $50,000 by saying, well, it's just for, people who went to very wealthy schools. And he sort of, gave a jab at Ivy League schools when he made the comment. Well, the same article said that his staff, more than any other staff in American history, is predominantly Yale graduates. So with a president who doesn't have, this state university's graduate and that UC graduate and that state's graduate, has a lot of Yale Ivy League graduates, he's in sort of a bubble, and that bubble may be what's pushing back at him for forgiving the $50,000. That's what that article was making the assimilation. It's a fascinating assimilation. Remember, to go to Ivy League college nowadays, I don't know what the numbers are. I think it's almost, $50,000 a year. So it's 200,000 over 4 years. So there is a strange item going on with this lack of response from the president on student loan debt forgiveness and this lack of action by Liz and Chuck to the situation as well. And with that, we're going to stay on top of the subject matter. And guess what? I'm back with you in 2 hours from now, and I'll be jumping into the live chat in that show. That is one of my favorite shows of the day. I mean, I know you love Javila and Sir Lloyd, but I love the first afternoon's LA show. Oops, wrong graphic. This one. I love the first afternoon's LA show because I get to interact with you. Q&A, that is our question and answer show. It's coming up in 2 hours from now. So if you drop comments on this show or the one before this morning and I didn't see it, then certainly bring your questions. Or if you're watching it taped, if you're watching this after it aired live and you have questions, then certainly jump into that live broadcast then. And then we're going into afternoons LATE and evenings LATE and LA Late Night. That is our tape broadcast tonight. They start at 6 p.m. evenings and then LA Late Night. Afternoons LATE will split the content with Evenings LA, there'll be a slight overlap when we get to stimulus checks, but the rest will not be an overlap. And with that, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I've seen one comment which I do want to address that was appearing in some of the comments earlier in this video at the end. People are saying, are we getting that fourth stimulus check in May or June? Neither. And I get this is also coming from a particular YouTuber who's saying just past $2,000 stimulus check. I mean, if you see a title like that or just past fourth stimulus, you assume it's coming. I mean, this is why ultimately people come to this channel confused from another channel because they're told that a stimulus check is coming in the month of May or June. It's not. I've been recording the sort of same type of video for, I think it's almost 2 months. Packages will go to a vote in July. You're not going to see anything before July. So I know there are people that are recording videos saying getting checks in May and June. Absolutely categorically untrue. Not going to happen. But that's why I want you part of this community. Subscribe. And if you are a new subscriber, say, hi, I'm a new subscriber. I'm a new face. And if you're an old face, then say, not an old person, but an old subscriber, then be welcoming to the person. I want this channel to be the envy of others. I want them to say, wow, they are really kind and inviting and helpful and considerate to one another. Everyone is very respectful, and he leads from the top and makes sure that everyone always treats everyone with a lot of respect and a lot of kindness. And that's what I want to see, and you've been doing an incredible job lately, so let's keep it up. Also, like this video, 3,000 likes. Let's get it to #1 in the ranking. And if you've not become a member, well, consider becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. You're going to see on Evenings LA tonight why there's 12, 15 provisions in the fifth stimulus package. The president never said it to you. There's no way to ever really find it. And that's why the PDFs which I delivered to you show you the clarity of all the items across the board. And with that, stay informed, stay focused. I'll see you in 2 hours from now as we go into Afternoons LA.